Hello everyone, good morning and a warm welcome to this beautiful spring day here. It is the Roaring Tigers versus the Dbis Blasters, and the news out from the middle is that the Dbis Blasters have won the toss. They've elected to have a bowl first. Beautiful conditions out there, nice pleasant morning, all set for a wonderful day of cricketing action in front of us. Nice pleasant conditions. There's a good nip and a bit of chill in the air. Expecting some good early movement off the pitch probably. The opening batsman for the Roaring Tigers out there in the middle as the fielding side going through its paces and making sure that everyone's standing at the right positions, all in readiness for the first ball. The umpires have taken their positions and taking stock of the situation right now. The first ball played rather carefully, no run there, so it will still be Dhawal who will take strike. Played it towards that third man gully region. Here comes Vatsal again. Good line and length here, and this time though, the batsmen get off the mark for a single, and the scoreboard is up and running for Dhawal and the Roaring Tigers with that single. So after the first two balls, it's very clear that Vatsal's bowling that fourth stump channel. He's looking to keep things nice and tight early doors, not allowing the batsman the freedom of movement to give him that extension and swing of the arms that the batsman will be looking for. And here is the left-handed batsman Sujay, who will be taking strike for the first time in this contest. And this is the little bit of a dilemma that the bowler will have when he's bowling to a left-hand, right-hand batting combination, where he'll have to time and again change his lines and change his lengths according to the batsman that is on strike. Here he comes. Again, pretty consistent from him bowling at that fourth stump channel. This was a tad bit fuller compared to the first two deliveries, but no run there. So Sujay will have to wait at this particular instance, standing just in the crease, like in his foot is on the line, or now he's taken a step forward and he's standing outside his crease, probably to mitigate the early swing that is on offer. Oh, that's a good ball again. So this is a nice and tight start from Vatsal with the ball. It's keeping it nice, keeping it simple, not trying anything fancy, which is the roadmap given that it is the first over of the contest, and so far so good for Vatsal and the Blasters with the ball. But again, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and Vatsal will look to finish this very nicely, and that's been called a wide, and that's a misfield by the keeper as well. However, there is protection out there with the fielder at deep third, so Vatsal will have to bowl that one again. And safe to say the keeper could have done a tad bit better on that occasion, but these things happen in the game of cricket, so dust that one off and get back to square one. Vatsal to Dhawal. Again, good ball once again, keeping it on that channel, continuously plotting and probing around that line and length. not giving the batsman too much to work with on this occasion. So this is a nice positive start from the bowler, from Vatsal. In this occasion, the wide notwithstanding, he still bowled 4 dot balls out of 5, which is always a good return, especially when you're bowling the first over. Here's the last ball of the first over, and that's in the air, and that's a wild swipe. Will only be a single because there is protection out there at deep third. So the end of the first over, an eventful one coming towards the end of that over, but it's still 4 for no loss after the first over. So Vishesh is the new bowler from the other end, and he will continue with Watsal from one side, who's bowled a pretty promising first over, who's kept it nice and tight. And it is Dhaval who will take strike, courtesy of taking a single of that final ball. So Watsal taking his time to set the field, making sure that all the angles are covered as he looks to bowl his first ball. Oh, he'll have to bowl that one again. A little bit of a false start. And here he comes. Oh, that's a very good ball first up. On the stumps, full, fast. The batsman could not do anything else rather than play it down the ground for a defensive knock. It's a good start this from Vishesh with that first ball. He'll look to continue along the same vein. Drifting down the leg side, that will be called a wide. Not a lot, not a lot to be called a wide, but anything that drifts down the leg side is an absolute no-brainer as far as the umpire is concerned. But there's not much there, to be honest. But again, leg side wide, right call. Oh, that's in the air as he found the gap, and that is the first boundary for the Roaring Tigers. It was short, just about the right height for the batsman, and sitting up at the proper pace that was required. Dhaval did not need a second invitation, got into position rather quickly on that occasion, and he sends that across for the first boundary of the innings for the Roaring Tigers. It was a good shot, good hand-eye coordination as well from the batsman on that occasion. We'll have to bowl a little better here, Vishesh. Probably take that first ball that he bowled as a launch pad for the length that he's looking for. Here he comes. This is much better, and he's given. That is the perfect riposte from the bowler after being hit for a boundary in the previous ball. Bowls it a bit fuller, bowls it on the line of the stumps as he did it in the previous delivery, the first one, and gets the batsman clipped right in front of the stumps. Easy decision there for the umpire. And that, let's have a look at that once again there. Bowls it right into that. Oh, that's late better, and he's well, and that is going on to crash into the stumps. Dhaval was a little gobsmacked by the decision, but he'll have to walk. The Roaring Tigers are 9 for 1. Good ball that from Vishesh. Bowls it on that channel. Gets a little bit of late movement. Dhaval was shaping up to play the drive, but that late movement meant that the ball jagged back in sharply, and he was caught right in front of the stumps when the ball crashed into his pads. So Dhaval has to walk back, and that is the perfect start for the Dbis Blasters in terms of the ball getting a wicket in as early as the second over with the score not even in two digits always seems to have a galvanizing effect on the fielding side. It will be very interesting to see what Snehal's approach will be here, walking into bat at number 3. Right-handed batsman taking his guard at the moment as we speak. Here he is, all in readiness to face his first ball. Oh, that's edged, and he's gone once again. This is immaculate bowling from Vishesh, and he's taken 2 wickets in 2 balls. Brilliant bowling this. This time the ball moves away from the batsman. That's a little bit of an outswinger here. Let's have a look at it once again. If the previous ball was jagging back in, this one leaves the batsman and the batsman gets a feather and Snehal has to walk back for a first ball duck. The DBIS Blasters are all over the Roaring Tigers at the moment and it is 9 for 2. And Vishesh is on a hat trick. Two absolute jaffers to get 2 quick wickets. And the Roaring Tigers now are in trouble. 9 for 2. Like I said, because of the nip and the chill in the air, because it's the early part of the morning, there will be some early movement that would be on offer, and Vishesh is making the most of it. And how? And it is Sundaresh who is the new batsman who's walking out to face the hat trick ball. The field is cock a hoop. They have a spring in their step. They will be eager. There's a slip in place as well. Here comes Vishesh with the hat trick ball. Oh, that was agonizingly close. Got a little bit of a feather strangling him down the leg side in this occasion, but the ball did not have the legs to reach to the keeper. Falls just short. So it's been an excellent over for the Blasters in terms of the wickets, 2 quick wickets. Here it is, the final ball of the second over. Vishesh to Sundaresh, defensive shot straight down the ground, and that brings an end to an excellent over. The Roaring Tigers, after 2 overs, are 9 for 2. And Watsal comes back to bowl his second over. He's played that nicely, but no run there. Bowled a very impressive first over, did Watsal, giving away just 4 runs in his first over. And the hallmark of that over was the accuracy that he showed. Bowled 6 deliveries in almost the same place, did not give the batsman much to work with, and probably that pressure translated into the next over where Vishesh took full advantage of it. Here is he once again playing it down the ground, but there is a packed field here. They are not allowing the batsman to get any easy runs, and that is excellent field placement and nice aggressive captaincy from the fielding side. There, lets it go. That's been called a wide. We'll have to bowl that one again. Here is Vatsal bowling to Sujay. Plays that one beautifully, gets into the gap, and it races away to the fence. Beautiful off drive that. Lovely shot for a boundary. Nice and full. Sujay just opens the face of the bat and lets the extension of the bat do the talking for him. Times it to perfection as he beats both those fielders. Shot mid off and the mid off as it races away to the fence for the boundary. Here is Vatsal once again. It was a tad too fuller with that boundary delivery. Here he comes. It's in the air. Has he found the boundary? You bet he has. Back to back boundaries for Sujay. And he's getting a move on after the twin setback that his team faced in the previous over. This time takes the aerial route straight over the bowler's head. And he finds the boundary. Three balls, three straight boundaries. The first one through the covers, the second straight over the bowler's head, and the third one over cow corner. A couple of bounces into the rope for four. That's been called a wide. So now the pressure telling on Watsal a bit in this particular over. 13 runs coming off. Still one more delivery to go. It's a completely different complexion in this over as the previous one. He's not been accurate with his lengths in this over. He's picked that. It's gone fine. It's racing away. And that's four straight boundaries for Sujay in this over. That's a huge, huge over for the Roaring Tigers. 18 runs coming off it. 3 overs gone. The Roaring Tigers are 27 for 2. Sujay unleashing his wide range of strokes in this particular over. One boundary through the covers, one boundary over the bowler's head, through the mid-on region, the third one over cow corner, and the fourth one fine towards the fine leg boundary. So unfurling his range of strokes here as Vishesh comes into bowl. Much better length this, but Sundaresh smartly gets a single and brings the danger man Sujay on strike. Vishesh had bowled an excellent first over, giving away 5 runs but also taking 2 wickets and 2 balls. But now there's a little bit of a different story here. He's bowling after the batsmen have found a bit of confidence after that previous over from 4 consecutive boundaries. And it is the batsman who's hit those who's taking strike. Sujay has managed to make a potentially dire situation into a pretty favourable one now as things stand. But still, all can change. Vishesh, a change of angle bowling from around the wicket. Oh, that's a good ball. Jagging late away movement, forcing the batsman to play at it. And Sujay very lucky that he was not anywhere close to getting an edge on that because he was shaping himself up for a cover drive once again. Found the ball a little full for him, was expecting it, was preferring it, was fancying himself, but that late movement away from the batsman did him in. And that is an excellent ball from Vishesh. It's very important for Sujay to not get ahead of himself and pace his innings rather nicely because despite that very productive over previously, they're still the main point is that they are 2 wickets down. Here is Vishesh, bowls it very, very nicely. This is the accuracy that I'm talking about. Something that was completely missing in that previous over from Vatsal. But Vishesh is making sure that he is pulling things back. Well, I was speaking about Sujay trying to not get too ahead of himself, and that is always something that is very peculiar with the batsman. They hit a flurry of boundaries, they feel that they're invincible, and then they go for one shot too many and end up losing their wicket, and that is something Sujay has to guard against as he faces Vishesh once again. That's another good ball, and Sujay this time thinking the better of it and playing a defensive stroke rather than going for that expansive drive. So this is a good over so far from Vishesh. 4 balls in, just a single, which is taken off that first delivery. But like I said, it's about how you finish, and Vishesh will hope to finish strongly here. Here he comes. Tried to play it a little bit on the lofted side, but gets neither the loft nor the timing on that occasion. So that's 4 dot balls in a row after we had 4 straight boundaries in a row in the previous over. So talk about a game of 2 halves. Not exactly a game here, but this is a matchup of 2 halves. So here is Sujay. It's an excellent over so far. Can Vishesh finish it on a positive note? Oh, you bet, and he actually gets a wicket. That is a brilliant delivery and an equally brilliant catch from the wicket keeper. And it is the danger man Sujay. 4 straight dot balls. The pressure played into the batsman's mind, and this time the penchant for going for that big shot has brought about his downfall. And that is the 3rd wicket to fall for the Roaring Tigers. Vishesh picking up all 3 wickets. Excellent over once again. And after 4 overs, it's 28 for 3. Let's have a look at that dismissal once again. Very similar to Snehal. Bowls it full. There's a little bit of late away movement and traps the batsman all ends up. And all Sujay was able to do was get a feather. And that was an excellent catch by the keeper to complement his bowler's bowling. So great cricket all around from the fielding side. Not that good from the batsman. And he has to walk back. And just as I was talking about that intent of going for one shot too many or that one extra shot has once again brought the downfall of another batter. This time Sujay being the victim of it. So 4 overs gone, 28, but 3 wickets gone as well. And in evidence that we have of this early exchange of the contest, it's very safe to say that the Blasters have the upper hand in the early proceedings, in the early exchanges of this match. However, there's still a long way to go. There's still 16 overs left, still 7 wickets in hand with the batting side as Mayur comes out to bat. So you can expect anything to happen here. Oh, that's an excellent attempt, but that's a drop chance in the end. That could have been wicket number 4, and that could be the first wicket for Vatsal. Very, very lucky boy there. Tried to play that cut shot. Did not get enough power on that. But that was an excellent effort from the fielder there at point. Outstretched hand. A little bit of a run. Almost found himself taking that catch, but unlucky there. But kudos to the effort. Only a single. And this is, it's actually Yogesh who's come out to bat. I beg your pardon, not Mayur. It is Yogesh who's walked out to bat in the middle, and he will take strike. Plays it straight down the ground, but there is the fielder at mid-off who will collect. No run. It's a good ball once again, beating the batsman all ends up. And this is the perfect opportunity for the Blasters to go ahead and inflict more pressure on the batting side. They've done a great job, bar that 4-ball spell where boundaries were flowing everywhere. They've managed to keep them on a leash, and despite, as we have the third, fourth balls played down the ground, but there is a fielder there, mid on a little squarer rather than straight, so managing to cut that off. So the fact that shows that the Blasters have bowled so well is despite that spree of 4 straight boundaries, the score is still 29. We are in the 5th over. Swing and a miss from Yogesh, trying to go for that expansive drive on the offside. Nowhere near it. So once again an excellent over here from Vatsal, coming back strongly after that over that went for plenty. So bar that over, which went for 18. The remaining 4 overs have gone for just 11. Here is Vatsal to complete his over. Another dot ball. Back to back brilliant overs for the Blasters, and it's 29 for 3, the Roaring Tigers, after 5 overs. Could have been 4, but it wasn't to be. However, the Blasters will be very, very happy with the bowling and the proceedings and the way that the match has gone so far. And they'll look to continue in the same vein and probably get a couple of more wickets and put even more pressure on the batting side here, because they're already reeling at 29 for 3 as Sundaresh will take strike. There, plays it down the ground, flicks it nicely towards that leg side. Does not have the legs to go to the boundary, but they will get 2 runs in the bargain as Vishesh continues with his third over. Here is Vishesh bowling to Sundaresh now. Plays it down the ground gently, no run there. The final over of the power play, and it seems that the bowling side are the team that has won the power play the first 6 overs of this contest so far, led by Vishesh, who's been absolutely phenomenal with the ball. There was trying to go for that big shot that Flowing pull shot. That's a well directed bouncer by Vishesh. The first one that we've seen in the contest. But that's a very, very well directed bouncer. Bowling it at the corridor of uncertainty where every batsman feels uncomfortable playing that short ball. Has also been signalled as one for the over. Played that. That's a misfield. And that is racing away. But there is protection. So will only be a single. And that will bring Yogesh on strike. So again, this has been a pretty good over so far. Just 2 runs conceded of the 3 deliveries. Vishesh will probably 4 deliveries, 3 runs. Vishesh will probably want to get another wicket here for good measure. And that's a huge appeal. The umpire says it's missing the stumps. That's another excellent delivery. He's bowling it nice and full. Not very full as to half volley length, but full enough to let the ball do its bit with that late movement. So there's a bit of an assuredness in the way Vishesh has been bowling. And you can see it from his body language, you can see it in his delivery stride, you can see from the way he's going about with his business. And that is the perfect way for any bowler to get rhythm. Here he is, the last ball of the third over, the last ball of the power play. Flowing drive. Has he found the gap? No, he hasn't. Will only be a single. So that is the end of the power play. And it is a pretty profitable one for the bowling side. 6 overs gone. The Roaring Tigers are 33 for 3. So to give you a little bit of a recap, if you're just joining us for this game between the Roaring Tigers and the Dbis Blasters, Vishesh kick-started proceedings by taking 2 wickets in an over. It was then followed by Sujay going on a rampage with 4 boundaries and 4 balls. And then in the next over, Sujay also had to walk back. And after 6 overs, the Roaring Tigers are 33 for 3, and we have our first bowling change from the bowling side with Nigam, the new bowler, left arm spinner, bowling around the wicket. And that's a good start. A little bit of bounce from the wicket. He's played that down the ground. Will only be a single. Here is Nigam bowling to Sundaresh. Again, plays it towards the leg side. Has he found the gap? No, he hasn't. And it'll also only be a single. So once again, it has been a cumulative bowling effort from the bowlers of the DBIS Blasters, where they've bowled nicely. They've not given a lot to the batsman in terms of scoring shots. He swung that for the trenches, but a dot ball, so no run there. Yogesh clearly feeling the heat. He's on 2 of He's on just 2 runs. He's faced 10 deliveries. Something has to give, whether it is Yogesh going for the big shot or whether it is Nigam getting the wicket on the back of another sustained pressurized bowling spell. Plays it down the ground. That's a drive. It's a single. Just 3 runs coming off the over so far. Need one more ball to go. Here he comes. Nigam to Sundaresh. Taken the aerial route, and that is well fielded there. That ball was coming in quick at a rate of knots. The batsmen do take two, but it is 2 runs saved from the fielder. Very good fielding effort out there in the deep. Despite the couple of runs, it's still 5 runs off this over. Just five. 7 overs gone. The Roaring Tigers are 38 for 3. And it is Himmat. Another bowling change, and it's another spinner. So spin from both ends. And left arm spin actually on both ends as Himmat's joined into the attack. And it is Yogesh who is currently on strike, and he's struggling for fluency at the moment. He's on 3 of 11 and he's struggling big time. Something needs to give for him. Probably get a few attacking strokes under his belt just to get that momentum, just to get that confidence going a little more. Just allows him to get into his skin a little more comfortably because he's finding this phase a little difficult to navigate. Plays it beautifully. That's a beautiful stroke. Just when I was talking about a little bit of fluency, Yogesh brings out an exquisite lofted cover drive from his belt. And that is a much needed boundary for the Roaring Tigers after a couple of overs of absolute radio silence in terms of scoring shots. Beautiful shot, gets into position quickly, and showcases his wrist work to excellent effect as he manages to get that over the outfield, infield, and into the fence for 4. So not a good start for Himmat, but the perfect start for Yogesh. He'll feel better after this. Plays it down the ground. Oh, he's gone! That is a wicket, and that is an excellent catch from Himmat. Just when I was talking about him having a poor start, he conjures up a brilliant catch, and the Roaring Tigers into further disarray, losing their 4th wicket. And it is Yogesh who has to depart for 7, 42 for 4. Brilliant piece of bowling from Yogesh, intentionally floating it, giving that ball a little more flight and air from Himmat. I beg your pardon. Himmat intentionally gives the ball a little loop, a little flight, a little air, and Yogesh was lured into it and he took the bait. Didn't get any sort of timing whatsoever, and that was a brilliant return catch from the bowler. to send the batsman back to the pavilion. And that is 4 wickets down. And the Roaring Tigers are in deep trouble at the moment. And Arvind is the new batsman walking in at number 6 with his side in complete disarray. And Himmat, after conceding that boundary early on, is now come back perfectly with a wicket in the next delivery. Here is Himmat once again. Plays it down the ground, but that is well stopped. Avoiding that single, that easy single down the ground, which would have helped the batsman get off the mark, but not to be. And this is exactly what I was talking about, a cumulative effort from the fielding side to put more pressure on the batsman. He's played that well, and that is only a single. He did play that well, he just does get off the mark. It was a good shot as well, but because of the field restrictions, there is protection out there in the deep. Here is Sundaresh, he's currently on 8 of 10. Plays it down the ground, that's another good ball. So 5 runs coming off it. Still another delivery to go. Once again, this is another good over from the bowling side. Hit that in the air. Comfortably down the outfield. That's well fielded. They will come back for 2. So good over this. 7 runs and a wicket. 8 overs gone. The Roaring Tigers are 45 for 4. Oh, crammed him for room on that occasion. Nigam, excellent bowling this. That ball keeping just a touch low. Here is Arvind. Tried to go for that big shot, Arvind, on that occasion, but unable to make full advantage of a rare loose delivery by the bowling side here. Very disappointed he wasn't able to get the connection he was looking for. Will have to be content with a single on that occasion, and that will bring Sundaresh on strike, who surprisingly, after Sujay, is the only batsman who's managed to get past double digits, get to double digits. Oh, he's played that well, was trying to look for that quick touch and go single, but wasn't to be. Here is Nigam bowling to Sundaresh. Sundaresh plays that down the ground, and that will be a single. It's 47 for 4. That's another nice tight over from the bowling side. This has been a very, very good bowling performance here. And none of the 4 wickets that have fallen have been a result of poor shots. It has been great bowling to bring the batsmen into that position where they play that's played well down the ground will only be a single as the fielder at long off collects. It has been great bowling. It's been pressure bowling from one end, and then the other bowler from the other end reaps the benefits of that and then gets in and chips in with a wicket. Yes, there have been only two wicket takers with Himmat and Vishesh, but it has been a collective bowling performance from the likes of Nigam, from Vatsal. So it's been very good, and they would want to continue this and restrict the Roaring Tigers to underpass score. Once again, that was hit with no sort of direction whatsoever, but that's another excellent over. Just 4 runs coming off it. And 9 overs gone, and the Roaring Tigers are 49 for 4. And Himmat coming back into the attack. Oh, he's bowled that nicely. He's bowled that very well indeed, cramping the batsman for room. And the ball straightening just a bit at the last moment because Sundaresh was trying to tickle it down to the leg side for a single. But the late straightening of the ball meant that he had to play it down the ground under his nose. So excellent bowling that. Played that. That's a quick single. That's well run. There, plays it down the leg side this time, but there is protection. The fielder shot fine. He will get a single though. And the 50 comes up for the Roaring Tigers, albeit at a snail's pace. But they're still there, they're still batting. And they would like to get to a score that has a certain level of respectability to it. And making sure that they get there is paramount. Oh, that's in the air. It's gone nowhere. But there is no fielder, so it eventually lands safely. But there, once again, the lack of a scoring shot is weighing very heavily on the batsmen who are trying to manufacture scoring shots from balls that are not exactly advisable to. Could have probably been a wicket had there been a fielder there, but once again, this is very, very good pressure bowling. Sundaresh currently on 14 of 18. Here is Arvind. Oh, almost played it on. He almost played it on. Arvind. Oh, he's actually knocked him over. That is a brilliant delivery. He's played it on. The Roaring Tigers have now lost half their side. It's 52 for 5. Himmat gets his second wicket. And it's time for drinks as well. with the DBIS Blasters well on top of proceedings. 52 for 5. Haha. 10 overs gone. Score at 52 for 5. And that was another great over. Just 3 runs coming off it. And a wicket as well for Himmat. And it is Vipin who's walked out into the middle. He's faced a delivery. He's not gotten off the mark yet. 52 for 5 the score. And Samir, new bowling change introduced into the attack. And it's Sundaresh who's on strike. He currently holds the key to his side's batting fortunes. Plays that well. There is protection out there that's well fielded, and they will come back for two rather comfortably. And 54 for 5, the score currently into the 11th over. So now slowly and steadily as the overs tick by, the onus, the focus or the planning for the batting side will be what would that's a huge appeal. Not out, says the umpire. As I was saying, the question here in the minds of the batting side will be what would be a respectable total or what would be a competitive total to defend against the Blasters once everything's said and done. Here is Samir bowling to Sundaresh, a little bit of width offered, but there is a fielder there, so will only be a single. Here's Whippin. Oh, he's played that nicely. Forward solid defense, but very surprisingly that Sundaresh sent him back when there was a single there on offer. Interesting call that. Could have been an easy single had they both ran for it. And play that this time they take the single. And that is the end of the 11th. Oh, there's still another ball to go. Played that well, but no singles. So 11 overs gone. The Roaring Tigers are 56 for 5. Himmat's brought back into the attack. 2 overs, 10 for 2. Himmat's taking his time to set the field. And Vipin facing Himmat. He's played that nicely. He's found the gap. Does it have the legs to go to the boundary? No, it doesn't. But they will come back for 2. So slowly and steadily, run by run, the Roaring Tigers are putting some sort of resistance in front of the bowling side. refusing to throw the towel despite being half their side down, and that is good to see that sense of fight back. Sweeps and sweeps well, and that is racing away to the fence, and that is a much needed boundary and a welcome boundary for the Roaring Tigers. God, they needed that, and they needed that badly because they were ambling towards nowhere with that score with just singles and the occasional two. But this boundary will definitely make them feel better. It will definitely add a little impetus to this innings, which for the longest time was absolutely going nowhere, was stagnant, was saturated. But now, probably, the Roaring Tigers will be hoping that this boundary opens the floodgates of them for them in terms of runs, because they need every inch of those, and they need many more from where that came. Here is Vipin to Himmat. Plays it down the ground, and that'll be a single. So smart cricket this. Get a boundary, and then they settle for a single in the next delivery. Good intelligent awareness of the game from the batsman. Here is Sundaresh. Oh, he's picked that. He's picked the bones out of that, and that's a boundary. That's a second boundary in this over. So slowly and steadily now, the Roaring Tigers probably getting a move on, and this could be the over that changes their fortunes, gives them that base, that launch pad that they're looking for to get to a favourable and a competitive total. That's a second boundary, and this is a good shot as well. A slog sweep, playing that sweep to perfection, getting the elevation, the timing, and the distance correct, and dissecting the gap between those two fielders in the deep. So they're making a move on here, the Roaring Tigers. They'll want more of where that came from. 11 runs off, one more ball to go after this. Safe to say that this is a very, very productive over for them. Again, trying the slog sweep, and again. Oh, that's well fielded. That's excellently fielded. Will only keep it down to a single. He certainly saved 3 runs, at least 3 runs for his side. But again, this is a very good over for the batting side for a change. 12 runs coming off it. 12 overs gone. 68 for 5. So 12 overs gone. 8 overs in hand. The Roaring Tigers will now be thinking how much to get from here. 10 runs and over from here will take them to 148. They'll be looking to get past the 150 mark. 10 over takes them to 148. 12 and over will take them to 163. And that is something that they would want. But again, the situation, not their best friend at the moment. They're half their side down. It'll all come down to Sundaresh and Vipin to make sure that they get anywhere close to that 150 mark. He's hit that, and that is dropped and will only be a single. He's played that fine, but again, there's no legs for that to reach the boundary. So they're making a move on now. 5 runs coming off the first 3 balls without much of a risk, and that is a wide to boot as well. So it's 6 runs of the first 3 balls. They're slowly and steadily making a move. They're making the scoreboard tick. They're posing a few questions to the bowlers now compared to the previous exchanges. Yeah, that's a good looking shot. Will only fetch them a single here. But now you can see a genuine movement in the scoreboard, not the ones for the sake of it, where there's a single and then 2 dot balls, a single and then more 2 dot balls. This time there is consistent run making on every delivery. They're not letting any delivery go waste from here. Again, was looking for the big shot. Are they going to get 2? No, they will be happy to take the single. 8 runs coming off 4 balls. Still 2 more deliveries to go. They got 12 in the previous over. They've got 8 now. Not a wide. It's brushed something, but not the bat if the umpire is to be believed. Not out, says the umpire. So that's a dot ball. Plays that well. That's a slog sweep. Has he found the gap? No, he hasn't. Well fielded. So that's 2 more runs. So 10 runs of this over, 12 of the previous, 22 runs coming off the last 2 overs. So they're getting a move on now. 13 overs gone. It's 78 for 5. So 78 for 5 after 13 overs. They managed to get that run rate to a run a ball, 6 runs an over. They'll need more. They'll need more of the same. 10 runs from here will take them to 148, but they will be looking for a score in excess of 150. So it'll be very interesting to see as to what the approach will be from both the batsmen in these final 7 overs that they have with them in hand. Here is Dhawal. Again, using the sweep to good effect, and he's dispatched that with utter disdain to the covers for 4. That is a brilliant start to the over for Sundaresh and the Roaring Tigers, but not so much for Dhawal and the Dbis Blasters. Not the start that they were looking for, but Sundaresh will take it. He has been using this sweep to great effect, and this is once again one of those where he found the gap, he found the timing that he was looking for. And that is a perfect start to the over, putting the pressure straight back on the bowler, and especially more so given that this is his first over in the game. Here's Dhawal once again. Oh, he's picked that one as well. But there is a fielder at the deep, will catch it at the bounce, will be a single. There's a little bit of a longer side of the boundary. Sundaresh greedy for that second run, but wisely sent back by his partner, Vipin. Very close there. Was trying to go for the paddle. Beaten all ends up. Well gathered by the keeper. Here's Thawal. Whippen takes the aerial route. They will get only a single. So Dhawal pulling things back nicely after conceding the boundary of the first over. However, first ball. However, there's still two more balls to go. And Sundesh is the batsman, the danger man who's on strike. He's played that through the covers. Maybe a single. So another ball, another single. So this is good bowling. After that boundary, it's given away just 3 runs of the next 4 deliveries. That's something very interesting. Here's Dhawal bowling to Vipin. Plays it through the covers once again, but looking for a quick single. They will get that. So that is the end of the 14th over. The Roaring Tigers are 86 for 5. 86 for 5 after 14 overs. They will be looking, they've got the acceleration that they needed in the last 3 overs, where they've gotten 28 runs, 30 runs in the last 3 overs at a run rate of 10. So they'll be looking forward to maintain that same clip, that same intent, and the same aggression that they've been showing in these past 3 overs so that they get to the target that they're looking for. Here is Vipin facing Samir, who's going for that big, full-blooded slog sweep. Misses it completely. Starts off with a dot ball here. Does Samir. He's gone for 14 in his 2 overs into his third. Again, that's a huge swing, but that's gone wide and it's fine and it's gone for 4. Bonus runs this for the Roaring Tigers. Nowhere close to the batsman and nowhere close to the keeper as well. Should have done better. Turned a little too quickly for his own good. And that takes them to the 90s. It's 91 for 5 now. One bounce into the rope for 4. Whippin now taking matters into his own hands. Beautiful extension, beautiful use. Plonks his front foot strongly, all that weight onto the front foot and makes it look so pleasing and so aesthetic. So runs coming at a canter now for the Roaring Tigers. They're on 95 for 5. Swings again and swings well. That's racing away and that's well fielded. Will only be a single, but that's another good shot this. So the change in intent, very, very evident from both batsmen. Both of them looking for the big shots, both of them looking to maximize every delivery that they face. taken another single, so the score moves on to 97. 97 for 5. Two more balls to go, 11 runs off this over. Oh, that's a good shot. That's a very good shot. And that is another boundary, and that will bring the 100 up for the Roaring Tigers. It's come out at just the right time. So this is once again another big over. 15 runs coming off this over, and still one more delivery to go. They have well and truly put the pedal to the metal and have pressed the accelerator in style. The Roaring Tigers. They will well and truly fancy their chances of getting a good total from here on. Courtesy Sundaresh and Vipin. Both of them have batted exceedingly well, and the 50 of the partnership comes up as well. It was 49 for 5, and now they are at 101. So excellent batting from both. They rode the challenging phases, and now they're reaping the rewards of spending time out there in the middle, scoring boundaries with regularity. Here is Samir once again. He's played that fine. Is it running to the fence? No, it isn't. It'll only be a single. So that is another huge over. 16 runs coming off it. 15 overs gone. It's 102 for 5. 5 more overs to go. So 15 overs gone. The Roaring Tigers are 102 for the loss of 5 wickets. They have managed to put in a very, very good 4 overs. The last 4 overs have brought them 44 runs. 46 runs actually. I beg your pardon. The last 4 overs have brought them 46 runs at 11 and a half. If they go on with that similar run rate, they will get to 160. Here is Dhawal once again with his first over going for 8. He will be bowling to Vipin, who is on 26 of 18. Played that down the ground, and that's a misfield. So the pressure now telling on the fielding side as well. And what should have been a dot ball is now 2 runs. And that's 2 more runs added to the total. Vipin moves on to 28 of 19. Here is Dhawal bowling to Vipin once again. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. That is regality, but there is only 1 run available. That was a beautiful shot. For all intents and purposes, it did look that it would go to the boundary, but the fielder was smartly placed at that exact position. And he cuts off that shot. But what a beautiful shot that was. Deserved a boundary. Unfortunate. You don't get everything you deserve in the game of cricket. There. That's a beautiful shot. And that's gone all the way for 6. Sundaresh. Stand and deliver. Watch me, says Sundaresh. And look at that. Beautiful swat over the extra cover boundary and over the fence for 6. So they are gathering runs at the rate of knots. And that is a brilliant batting performance from both of them out there in the middle. Sundaresh moves on to 37, plays it down the ground. Will be a single. So 10 runs coming off this over as well. There's still 2 more deliveries to go. And like I said, the Roaring Tigers are maximizing every ball coming their way. There, he swatted that. Will get only a single. But still, runs coming in thick and fast. One more run, so it brings the total of this over to 11. And still one more delivery to go, and this time it's Sundaresh on strike. Make it 12 runs, another big over here for the Roaring Tigers. 16 overs gone, it's 114 for 5. What a turnaround it has been for the Roaring Tigers. In the first half, it looked like they were well behind the 8 ball. But now the second half has seen them come with a renewed sense of confidence, a renewed sense of intent, and a renewed sense of aggression that they're showing in the way that they're playing their cricket at the moment. It has been some excellent shots, it's been some smart cricket, and it's been a perfect example of mixing caution with aggression, taking the risks at the right time, playing the good balls on merit, and hitting those poor balls with absolute disdain. And it is Nigam who's walked back into the attack, just given away 9 runs in his 2 overs, wicketless so far. Boy, he'd love a wicket and break this partnership, because this is threatening to take the game away from them. Sundaresh plays it down the ground to the long off fielder for a single. Here is Nigam bowling to Vipin. Swing and a miss. Nigam bowling very well. Vipin was looking for that massive straight 6 down the ground. Misses it completely. Here is Nigam bowling to Vipin. And that's a huge appeal for LBW, and it's given. Nigam breaks the partnership. And the much needed wicket here for the Dbis Blasters. Just when it felt like both Sundaresh and Vipin would take the game away from them, Nigam has broken this partnership. The ball kept low, hit him right in front of the stumps, and the umpire had no hesitation in raising his finger. So Vipin has to go after playing a very, very composed knock. It's 115 for 6 for the Roaring Tigers. "66-run partnership brought to an end. 115 for 6, the Roaring Tigers. As the new batsman walks in, It's a new batsman coming out to the middle. Oh, it was very close. They will cross strike. They will scamper across for a single. That's a big six here. And Sundaresh moves on to 46 of 36. He's turning on the style here and he's making sure that his team finds themselves on the cusp of a competitive total. That's in the air. Fall shot will only be a single. So Sundaresh will keep strike. 9 runs and a wicket. 17 overs gone. It's 123 for 6. Sanjay is the batsman who is giving Sundaresh company out there in the middle on 1 of 1. Been called a wide. We'll have to bowl that one again. Here is Himmat. Big appeal and given. And it is Sundaresh who's gone now. The danger man. The important man for the Roaring Tigers. The key man who could have taken them to a respectable total. But Sundaresh has to walk. And it is Himmat who's come back with the breakthrough. It's wicket number 3 for him. The Roaring Tigers 124 for 7. Once again striking the pads in front of the stumps. And the umpire once again did not hesitate to raise his finger. But a good knock from Sundaresh comes to an end. He goes out in 47. It's 124 for 7.
Mumbai, are you ready? The city's biggest amateur cricket showdown is here. Jolly Friends Sports Club proudly presents Amateur Premier League Season 1. Whether you're a batter with fire in your eyes, a bowler with magic in your wrists, or an all-rounder ready to own the pitch, this is your chance to shine under the spotlight.
Hello and welcome back to the run chase. The Dbis Blasters have a target of 128 in front of them, courtesy of a brilliant performance with the ball by all of their bowlers. They never allowed the Roaring Tigers batsmen to settle in, and despite that one partnership that threatened to take the game away from them, they came back in style and managed to take the remaining wickets with absolute ease. So the target now in front of them is 128. Not a very big target by any stretch of the imagination, but small run chases can often be tricky. And if the Roaring Tigers do get off to a good start or a similar start to the ball in terms of their opponents, we could be in for a very, very interesting contest. So let's see what happens here. Amit and Hemal, the two openers for the DBIS Blasters. And it is Amit who will be taking strike, the left-handed batsman. Here's the first ball of the run chase. Late movement, but well fielded. They will comfortably come for the first one run. And Mayur opens the bowling with a low full toss, but there was a little bit of a way movement in the air. So positive sign. And that will bring Hemal, the right-hander, on strike. So once again, a left-hand, right-hand opening partnership. Very similar to the one for the Roaring Tigers as well. Brings its own sets of challenges. And here's Mayur. Oh, he's picked the bones out of that. All the way for 6. What a start this from Hemal. In the slot, picks the bones out of that, right out of the meat of the bat. And that was going only one way and one way. And that is out of the park for 6. Just the start that the Blasters required. And they are up and running. Here is Mayur. Hemal plays it softly down the ground. Won't take a single. Hemal plays it down the ground as he found the gap. You bet he has, but will it have the legs to go to the boundary? You bet it does. So a 6 followed by a 4. And Hemal wants to finish things quickly here. He's not taking any prisoners. That is a good ball actually. The Yorker length delivery. But he picked that up beautifully and bisects that gap between short cover and mid off as the ball races its way to the boundary. Hemal has started his innings on a roll. 10 runs in 3 balls. Perfect start for them with the bat. Oh, very close. The dot ball. But the damage has already been done in this first over. 11 runs coming off it, and still one more ball to go. Here comes Mayur. And Hemal picks it up. And that is going to the fence. And that is another boundary.
So 15 runs coming off the first over, and the Roaring Tigers are immediately under pressure with this onslaught from Hemal. Slow ball picks it up nicely and finds that gap, and it races away to the fence once again. So Hemal has taken his blazing strike, blast, Dbis Blasters side to a blazing start. 15 for no loss after the first over. Yogesh into the attack, and Amit on strike. Swing and a miss. First up. Oh, another was an attempt to play a late cut there. The ball a little too close for comfort. 15 for no loss the score. 15 for no loss the score. This time he plays it well. He's found the gap, but does it have the legs to go to the boundary? Stopped right at the edge. They will come back for two. So Amit will still remain on strike. He's currently batting on 3 of 4, whereas Hemal has trailblazed his way to a 5-ball 14 on the other end. Plays it down the ground, but no run. Oh, he's misfielded that. We will get a single, and that will bring Hemal on strike. Good over this from Yogesh. Hemal plays it down the ground. They will get a single. End of the second over. 19 for no loss. Mayur to Hemal. Oh, he's knocked him over! The middle stump's gone for a walk. And Mayur gets his revenge of the previous over. Hemal has to depart. That's a brilliant ball, full straight onto the stumps. Hemal went to go for that big full-blooded slog sweep. Misses it completely. And the stumps have gone for a toss. It is a big wicket, because Hemal was looking to take the game away from them. 19 for 1. The DBIS strikers are 19 for 1 after Hemal departs for 15. Burzin is the new batsman coming out to bat at number 3. Burzin ready to take strike. He's walked out to the middle at number 3 following the loss of Hemal, whose middle stump was so brutally dismantled by Mayur. Plays it down the ground. A little bit of misfield, but both of them decide against the single. Still down the ground. Single again. Here is Mayur bowling to Amit. Plays it down the ground, taps it towards, but no run. Was a potential single on offer. Oh, he's hit. He's taken the aerial route there. And it's dropped. Should have been taken. Let's have a look at the replay once again. He went for the aerial route this time. Did not get the connection he was looking for. The fielder makes an absolute meal of it. And look at the reaction of the bowler. Says it all, really. Says it all. Should have had that under control. But in fact, he did not get even a little bit of a fingertip to that. Bruzine on strike. Plays it down the ground. Goes the fielder long on. Collected for a single. And the game goes on. Yogesh back into the attack from the other end. Burzine on strike. What will Burzine do against a spinner? Plays it down the ground, will be only a single, and that will bring Amit on strike. That's a wide. Plays it down the ground for a dot ball, does Burzine. Oh, he's played that well. Has he found the gap? You bet he hasn't. A little bit of misfield there. The fielder gets himself in a little bit of a tangle. Enough time for the batsman to take two. Down the ground, no run. Oh, he's picked that beautifully. That's one bounce into the rope for four. So Bull's getting a move on now after taking a bit of time to settle in into his hitting arc. All he had to do was just flick it, and he flicks it with beautiful elegance. Enough power for one bounce over the rope for four. Thirty-one for one, the score. One ball left for the fourth over. Oh, he's played that straight to the fielder. No run. And that is the end of the fourth over. The Dbis Blasters are 31 for 1. Here is Mayur bowling to Amit. That's just inside the tram line. Not given as a wide. Play that down the ground for a single. So 96 required for the Dbis Blasters from 94 deliveries with 9 wickets in hand. And it'll be very interesting to see how both the batsmen here will measure the run chase. He's played that beautifully, and he's found the gap. Pierces the gap through for four. So Burzine getting a move on with his aggression, and he's making sure that they have a much more better cushion as far as the runs to chase is concerned. Beautiful full length delivery, but equally good face of the bat offered by Burzine. Plays it and times it to elaborate and elegant perfection as the ball finds the rope in no time. Oh, trying to give himself a little bit of room there on that occasion, but no run. this time around. For all those of you tuning in, the Roaring Tigers batted first and were bowled out for 127. The Dbis Blasters need 128 to win. They're currently on 36 for 1. They need 92 runs more of 92 deliveries with 9 wickets in hand. Here is Mayur once again to Burzine. Burzine, oh, it's edged. And that is finding its way for a single. Seven runs coming off this over. Still one more delivery to go. Oh, here's Mayur. We'll have to bowl that one again, missing his run up on that occasion. Here is Mayur to Amit. Oh, that was a good Yorker. Very close to the off stump as well. And that brings us to the close of the fifth over. 5 overs gone. 38 for 1. Sanjay is the new bowler out there in the middle. Last over of the power play has been entrusted to him. And Burzine is on strike. Plays it well, lets the ball come to him, and they get a single. $39 for 1. Here is Sanjay bowling to Amit this time around. Oh, Amit gives him the charge and beats the infield for 4. So Amit joins the party now. And that was a statement of intent from Amit. After being the passive partner for so long, Amit decides he's had enough, puts on his dancing shoes, dances down the wicket and goes over the infield for 4. That's a wide. We'll have to pull that one again. Here is Sanjay. And again goes the aerial route. And that's 6 this time. So Amit putting on a show. Beautiful shot that. Full leg delivery into the slot. Once again making news, giving himself just a little bit more room. Picks the bones out of that for 6. It's an appeal for LBW, but that was clearly pitching outside the leg stump. Sanjay. The 50 comes up for the Dbis Blasters. Oh, beautiful shot. And that's another six. What a shot that is from Amit. Absolute class oozing from the very moment it hit the bat. Again, a little bit of room. Beautiful flick of the wrist. And that is six. 18 runs coming off this over. They are making a mockery of this now. And here is Sanjay. Oh, finishes the power play with the dot ball, but the damage has already been done. 18 runs of the over, 6 overs gone. The DBIS Blasters are 56 for 1. Arvind, the new bowler, introduced into the attack after the power play. And Burzine, the batsman, on strike. Oh, he's played that late. He's found the gap in the outfield. Will get a single for that. And Amit once again takes the aerial route, and that's one bounce into the rope for four. Amit has decided that he will take the attack to the bowling, come what may. This time, once again, gives them the charge, hits it towards the leg side, and it finds itself to the boundary, one bounce into the rope. Amit moves on to 26 of 17 with that shot. And the score moves into the 60s, 67 required now from 82 deliveries. That's another good shot. Will only be a single. Played it very, very carefully and almost finding its way to the stumps by the reaction of the bowler there. And that's wicket number 2. Burzine has to walk back. It's a good piece of bowling there from Arvind as well. Continuing to bowl the similar length. And Burzine couldn't play this one. Ends up losing his stumps. And the Dbis Blasters are 62 for 2. Harnish, the new man out in the middle, following the fall of Burzine, and Arvind to continue to bowl the last ball of his over. Here's Harnish. Good ball, deceiving him in flight. Ended with a dot ball. 7 overs gone, 62 for 2. Played it firmly down the ground. No run there, but a good defensive stroke from Amit. Sujay introduced into the attack, bowling a good ball first up, into the stumps, in the line of the stumps, a stump to stump channel. If his first ball is any indication that he'll continue to bowl the same. And he's found the gap here as Amit, and that's raced away to the fence for another boundary. So Amit continuing his approach of being aggressive from one end as he keeps the runs flowing and making sure that there is as minimal a pressure on his side as possible, courtesy of another free-flowing boundary of his bat. Played that down the ground, and that's another boundary. Back-to-back fours, and Amit is on a roll. He's on an absolute tear at the moment. This was his hard. Sujay had, as you can see, that's hit a part of Sujay's hand, and he can feel the after effects of it as well because that was hit with such brute force. The sheer momentum of that ball was enough to take it to the boundary rope. Impeccable batting this from Amit. He's moved on to 35 of 21. 70 for 2 the score. Here's Amit playing it down for a single. Are they coming back for two? No, they are happy with the single. Sujay to Harnish. Plays it nicely towards that short third fielder for a single. So 10 runs coming off this over. 8 overs done and dusted. The Dbis Blasters are 71 for 2. Here's Arvind introduced back into the attack after giving away 6 runs and taking a wicket in his first over. And he will be bowling to Harnish, who's just in the middle. Played his third ball there for a single. 1 run of 3 balls for Harnish. Here's the thing about it. There's not a lot of pressure as far as the scoreboard is concerned, so he can take his time if he wants to. Probably they'd want to finish it as quickly as possible as well, given that they only have 56 runs to get. And with Amit going great guns from the other side, plays it nicely and gives it to Amit, who is on a tear at the moment on the other end. Everything he hits is finding its way to the boundary with alarming regularity. And that is exactly what you want from a batsman, to just force the issue a bit, to make sure that the target is small and there are no hiccups, no obstacles, no second thoughts while chasing a target, because that's what happens. Whenever there's a small target, sometimes the chasing team is lulled into a false sense of security, and a cluster of wickets falling automatically puts a lot of pressure on the batting side, and that means it is an issue. Again, a nice careful tap towards that short third fielder. That'll only be a single again, but it doesn't matter at this point. They're biding in their time. They're well ahead of the eight. They went ahead of the 8 ball at the moment, the Dbis Blasters. Nicely played down the ground for a single towards long on. Oh, Amit has taken the aerial route and it's gone behind the fielder. One bounce into the rope for 4. Excellent shot that from Amit, but a little bit of a misjudgment from the fielder. Had he stood at the edge of the rope, that was a comfortable catch straight into the throat, but not to be. He took a couple of steps forward and saw the ball go right behind him and into the boundary rope for 4. The score moves on to 79 now. Amit was tried to play 2 shots at one, was successful in doing neither. Ends the over with a dot ball. 9 overs gone, 79 for 2. Harshvardhan, the new bowler introduced into the attack, and it is Harnish on strike. Played that well. We get a single. So misfield and the game come back for two. So they move to 81 with that couple of runs that have been taken. Plays it down the ground, no run this time. Plays it late, again no run. Harnish trying to find the gaps. He's trying to be a little too artsy. He's trying to play the textbook shots here. Plays it towards the leg side nicely through his hips for a single. Here is Harshvardhan bowling to Amit, who's trying to go behind square on the leg side. Misses it, but it's given as a wide as it is. 83 for 2. Close call. An appeal for stumping, but not out, says the umpire. Made his ground just before the keeper dislodged the bails. The score still 83 for 2. Nice tidy over so far. 4 runs conceded off. Plays it well. Has he found the gap? Good stop there by the fielder. Will only keep it down to a single. So that's a very, very good over. It's 5 runs coming off it. 10 overs gone. It's 84 for 2. And now it's time for drinks. So both sets of teams have been refreshed and hydrated after that drinks break, and the messages from both sides would have been of contrasting emotions, where the DBIS Blasters would have been encouraged to finish this game quicker. The Roaring Tigers would probably have had the message to probably take things slow, a bit, take things down a notch, slow things a bit. Very interesting to see what the approach would be from Amit, especially after the drinks break. He's currently batting on 42. And he is the batsman on strike. So it'll be very interesting to see what he does right after the drinks break. Does he continue to go for the aggressive shots, the big shots, or does he play to the situation, probably rotate strike a bit, and see how things go for the first 2 overs or so? Arvin's brought back into the attack. 2 overs, 1 for 13. And he's the only bowler who's tend to have a slight upper hand against Amit. So wide, we'll have to bowl that one again for sure. Straying well down the leg side on this one. And he is gone. And Amit has lost his wicket. Amit is walking. He's been stumped. So the drinks break does the trick. Amit continued to go hell for leather. Walks out of his crease attack too early, and by the time he turns, it's too late. So Amit has to depart. Third wicket goes down for the DBIS Blasters. It's 85 for 3. Ronak is the new batsman out there in the middle following the dismissal of Amit on 42. And Arvind has got his second wicket. It's a huge appeal for LBW, but not out, says the umpire, and they scamper across for a single in the bargain as well. And the umpire says that there is bat involved, so the question is moot. So Ronak gets off the mark straight away. Again, nicely tapped by Harnish. I beg your pardon. Harnish taps it down towards that point fielder for a single. Again, runs comfortably coming in ones and twos at the moment, and the TBI's Blasters won't mind that. They have the situation well under control despite the wicket of Amit. Oh, he's played that well. Has he found the gap? No, he isn't. The fielder will cut it off and keep it down to a single. Oh, that's a beautiful stroke. Again, the fielder will cut it off and it'll be a single. So that's back-to-back beautiful strokes played by both the batsmen, only to get a single in the bargain. So it's a little bit unfortunate for both batsmen, but they'll take it. Plays down the ground. Again, it'll be only a single. So that's the end of the 11th over. The DBIS Blasters are 90 for 3. Harshvardhan will continue to bowl. First over going for 5. He's edged that, and that's a misfield, and they will come back for 2 in the bargain. So that's 2 more runs to the total. The score moves on to 92 for 3. 36 runs required in 47 balls. Hits it straight down the ground, and that's well fielded in the deep. He saved a certain boundary, and that's gone. That was going at a fair distance, at fair clip as well. Very well done, running through and managing to stop and catch the ball on the bounce. Just a single. Oh, he's played that well. He's played that well, but again, protection in the deep. Only down to a single again. So getting into a little bit of frustrating territory for that batsman, both batsmen as well, because some good shots have not found the fence. It's only been a single so far. No boundaries being hit. They love a boundary here. Oh, swing and a miss. And like I said, the pressure slowly creeping in. Good shots not going to the boundary, being fielded. Not able to find the rope here is probably playing on their minds just a little bit at this point. There's a long off in place, a long on in place, a deep cover. Deep square leg as well. There, he's played that. Again, straight to the fielder there, that long off, who will gather it. Once again, it'll only be a single. So 5 runs coming out of the 5, looking to steal an extra run, but nothing doing there. Here is Harshvardhan bowling to Harnish. Again, once again, comfortably plays it down the ground for another single. So that's the end of the 12th over. Once again, with 6 runs coming off it. 96 for 3, the Dbis Blasters. So 96 for 3 after 12 overs. 32 runs required of 8 overs. Played it down the ground once again, and that is a single again taken. Oh, he's knocked him over, and another wicket falls. So there another twist in the tail in this contest, and it is Ronak who has to depart. The 4th wicket goes down for the Dbis Blasters, 96 for 4. Ronak was going for the big shot. The frustration of not getting a boundary of the good shots that he hit was creeping in from the inside. And finally, he couldn't take it anymore and decided to go all hell for leather. Missed it completely. The ball went on to crash into the stumps. 97 for 4. The Dbis Blasters. They're still well in control of this run chase, mind you. 31 runs, they still have 6 wickets in hand. But the longer this game goes, probably the chances of the Roaring Tigers probably sneaking a result out of nowhere Would be very interesting to see. Oh, he goes in straight away and he finds the fence. That is a really shot if there was any. What a way to get off the mark for Ankur. And he brings out the 100 as well for his side with that boundary. 101 for 4. 27 runs required now after that big shot. Oh, he's played that one again. He's played it big, but again, it's only a single. It's in the air. Has he found the rope? No, he hasn't. He's found the fielder at deep square. So Ankur has to walk back, and that's another wicket down for the Dbis Blasters. They've lost half their side. Ankur's eyes probably lit up after seeing that low full toss. He went for the full Monty, but unfortunately did not get the distance that he was looking for, and will have to walk back to the pavilion. He goes for 4. It's 101 for 5. 2 wickets in the over for Pankaj. Played that well off the back foot has Vinod, and he's almost found the fence, but that will only be a single. So that's a rather productive over here for the Roaring Tigers. 6 runs and 2 wickets coming off it. It's 102 for 5 after 13 overs. Plays it down the ground, but no run there. And it is Jenish who's bowling his first over, introduced into the attack. So dot ball, which has been a rarity of late. Again, trying to cut a ball that is pretty close to the body. 102 for 5. 26 runs needed. 108 for 5 here. And that is the end of the 14th over. So 20 runs required of the last 6. 14 overs gone. It's 108 for 5. Here is Pankaj bowling to Harnish, who's still content to play it down the ground, the risk-free option, the safer option, compared to trying and taking the risk and going for those big shots. It's Vinod. Again, muscles it down the ground, but will only be a single. It's played it in the gap. They're looking for two, and they'll get it rather comfortably in the end. So the score moves on to just a one. Oh, he's flicked that beautifully off his pads. Gets a single this time. Moves on to 113 for 5, the score. "15 runs required now of 32. Oh, good ball. Dug in full into the block hole. Good Yorker that. It's in the air. Straight up in the air. And is dropped. They will come across for a single, but that is once again a little bit of poor fielding there. The 15 over is gone. It's 114 for 5. Tried to play it off the back foot, but will only get a single there. He was looking to beat that gap between those two fielders at short third and backward point, but he wasn't able to do that successfully. So he will be content with a single on this occasion. So 13 runs required. Harnish takes the aerial route. And has he found the fence? He has. So Harnish gets a boundary after a while, and that's a good looking shot as well. Giving him the charge, putting on his dancing shoes, plays it with the spin towards the longer leg side boundary, and he beats the gap to perfection. So now just 9 required for the DBIS strikers. DBIS blasters, I beg your pardon. Harnish goes for the slog sweep once again and finds the gap once again for 4. So back-to-back boundaries, and Harnish looking to finish this match in a flurry. The Blasters just there, almost can reach out and touch it. 5 runs away. Once again, a good shot into his sweeping zone, and he sweeps it very well indeed. So one hit away from victory are the Dbis Blasters against the Roaring Tigers. Again comes down the ground, but that is another boundary. 3 in a row. And the scores are level. Just 1 run required. Here is Harshvardhan against Harnish. And he picks it and finishes things off with a single. And that is game, set, and match for the Dbis Blasters. A very professional display with the ball, followed by a capable, cool, calm, and composed innings with the bat, has seen them emerge victorious against the Roaring Tigers by 5 wickets. The Roaring Tigers couldn't do much with the bat. It seemed for a moment that they were looking for a good score, but then they were wrecked by that cluster of wickets that fell towards the end. And with the bat, they just, and with the ball, they weren't a match for the accurate bowling and disciplined fielding of the Dbis Blasters. Well done, Dbis Blasters, for the victory. And this is Delvin, and it's been a pleasure guiding you throughout the events of this match. We'll see you soon with another game. Till then, see you soon. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll be back soon with more cricketing action at your fingertips.